The direction is coming from the strategy and the protocol that the ministry has put in place. That does not come from the teachers in the school. That does not come from a principal. The reason why most of our children cannot read when they graduate is because as they go through year by year, their competencies are not at a standard that is acceptable. And instead of them being taught better, or instead of them finding other ways to reach them, or instead of them finding ulterior teaching methods, they just shove them through. They don't really care about how many people are able to read and write. They're just trying to get numbers through the gate. That's all they're trying to do. And we have to overhaul the entire system. Because if they really wanted our children to be able to read and write, what they would do is that they would have it set up in a way where every child at the end of every year that they go through in school is competent. And unless you are severely developmentally challenged, it is not difficult to learn the basics of reading and writing. But when you have 50, 40 people in a one class with one teacher, and the people them now own the meds, because mommy and daddy now teach them the meds at home, so them come at school, them just wild out, whereas then they're on them friend. You want to see how children speak to teachers. You want to see how children act in school. That's what you want to see. But the problems that cause all of these things is many different things. Many different things combined into one. The main thing is it all starts in the home. Because let us say that you are not happy with the education that your child is getting at school. What is your option? Because if you don't like what the school is teaching you, if you don't like what the educational ministry is saying needs to go out, what is your option? To just stay with it? No. Your option now is for you to now find an alternative. Whether or not it is possible for you to find, I don't know how easy that's going to be, because like somebody else raised a point earlier, most people don't have the time. Most people have to be spending most of them time working just to survive. The reason why a lot of these children are the way they are, and I don't even just mean COVID, is most of these children are raised with a phone and a tablet. Mommy and daddy can't bother to deal with them. Mommy and daddy at home busy dealing with other things. Mommy and daddy at work. So what does a child do? They get given the tablet every time mommy and daddy want some peace and silence. Why do you think so many of our children suddenly have American and British accents? It's because they're watching these programs. They're watching the Peppa Pig. They're watching the this. They're watching the that. So they adopt what they watch. A lot of Jamaican school children age have American accents. Just scroll through TikTok right now. Hey bro, I don't know man, and everything is like, oh my god, you see, the day we introduce cable into this country is the day Jamaica changed to a level that I don't even think we begin to understand. Because we were always quick to snap up American culture and them something, but you see, when cable hit and everybody got that little window of American culture in them home, yo, Jamaica changing. Yes, Carrie, come in. Rock and come in.
I want to shake your hand because I wanted to say this, but I was allowing you guys to talk, and you say exactly what I believe the problem is. A lot of these kids, the phone and the tablet, nobody has time to see to it that children actually read a book or do what normal children are supposed to do. They're so fascinated by the American and the European culture is that it's like the Jamaican kids in a Jamaica no more. It's just mere copy on what them see on the internet, and it's sad, very sad. And but some of these programs, you mentioned a program, you said Peppa Pig. Research it and tell me what they say Peppa Pig, what kind of kids they created that program for.
But guess why that is the case is because of the parents. Nothing else not causes, because the people them cannot get access to the thing if the parents don't give it to them. And most children, when they're online, whether it's using the phone or the tablet,
facts. You're talking facts.
All right, so
hold on, Bolo, okay. No, hold on. Finish making your point, and then we'll go to Bolo, because Bolo been holding for a while.
Yeah, what you're saying about the parents giving them is true, because I have kids in early childhood. I have a grown daughter in university, and my children don't have social media account. they're not into that because I instill something different. So it really starts at home where we as parents will have to do things differently and instill certain values in our children so we can have a better society.
Right. Alex, Mr. Dr. Olin, you can come up back, my general. Cause I'm sorry you have to wait so long. I'm glad me like the discipline of the muting of the mic. Alex Williams, good night, how you doing?
Good night. I'm doing okay, but I think Stuart apparently I have the thing in front of me to read, and it seems as if Stuart was reading the same thing. So
Oh, what is that?
no man, anything that well, most of the times when I'm doing any form of discussion or if I jump on any lives or anything like that, I usually
Mm-hmm.
have information in front of me to read, and
What
maybe
was that
Stuart.
specific thing that you wanted to highlight?
Well, it was, in summary, the new generation, technological era, social media, everything
Mm-hmm.
that comes together. And Stuart tied in all the points.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
So,
social media is a gift and a curse like everything else in life. So it is the responsibility of the parents, like what Carly said, she instilled in her children, no social media, which is not something that is easy to do. I'm not saying that every parent is gonna get that right, but if you can start early, in instilling that, that is going to be very, very good. Because
there's
of the era that we're living in.
there's also a psychological factor to it, So, depending
Can
on
I
which
say
era you're
something,
in.
please? Can I just say something?
Yes,
In
ma'am.
regards to what you said, Bolo, about instilling. You see, the thing is, I never forced my children not to go on social media. They actually had tablet and phones. But the thing is, what a lot of parents don't realize, you see, when you have children, from the child is inside the belly, you talk to them, you explain things to them. What I did growing up, I never born in a luxury and wealth. And I talk to my children and explain to them, you see, my reality should not be yours. If you don't do this or do that, your reality will become worse than mine. And my children understood. I made sure that they understood that. So that plays a key factor in bringing up my children. It's not that they never had the devices. They just knew what was more important.
Right. I want to welcome the people on YouTube because I think this is such an excellent discussion that I'm streaming it on my YouTube right now. So salute to the people on YouTube. I see Neru, I see David, Ford Constantine. Big up on yourself. Yeah, so go ahead, Alex.
Oh, the point I was getting at was, hold on, give me a second, my car passing by.
You know,
You're actually good still. I
talking
mean,
about social, you're talking about social media and some other impacts on society and how it has changed.
yeah, yeah.
No,
That's what it.
there's a psychological
People, give me 1 sec here. Give me 1 sec. I'm doing some sharing of the live. Hold on here. I'm coming here.
They said they want to make the company more profitable. How are we going to do that? Okay. Well, we're selling ads, but ads were still in their infancy at the time. So how are we really going to push it? And what they did is that they said, let's gamify the thing. And they went to Las Vegas, the capital of gambling, where they have it down to a science. There's a reason why the carpets are the color they are. There's a reason why the hallway is designed the way it is and the shape it is. It's all designed to encourage you to spend more money.
Right down to the music, the background music.
Bro, everything. Those little acts that we do on social media where we scroll with our thumb, it's the same thing you do when you use a jackpot machine. You pull the something on the side and you let it go. We don't realize that we are literally fighting and losing. We're trying to ice skate uphill, as Blade would say, because we have been programmed to be addicted to these things. By the way, somebody mic open on it low. Beg you mute it for a second. I think it's Iris. It is literally addicted. It's designed to be as addictive as possible. And children cannot fight that. Adults cannot fight it. How are we going to expect the children to be able to fight it? These things are literally designed. And I work in the industry, and I am telling you, sir, I saw it go. I know what happens behind the scenes. I mean, I tell you, sir, it's not a pretty thing we're gonna deal with. There's a reason why certain content comes up on your feed. It's not by accident. All of these things are very real, and it's a lot of programming happening. And if your mind not sharp, you will get led everywhere you go. But this social media thing, all of these social media companies, data is a new gold, is a new oil. It's just worth so much more now. There's a reason why all these things are free. Because it's not free. We are the product. By the age of 13 in America, the average child will have several million data points collected on them by different social media companies. And then if you think the social media companies are a problem, wait till you hear about the data brokers. The data
ABI news very much big up.
You know, every time
But up on live about 3 hours now on TikTok, but the conversation was serious.
Access to read an article or something like that. Every time you do those things, your information gets taken and it gets stored. And data brokers buy those different your information from these different companies and sell them to people online.
True.
There's a whole economy about this. So don't feel like it's about the actual social media.
What does it say?
Right.
The media.
I'm kind of guilty of the data warehouse. Let me just throw that out there. I'm into tech, I'm into software.
From the way you speak, I figured you were probably into something like that. But it's going to be very difficult for any of us to navigate this. Iris, you need to mute your mic. They're getting a very hard feedback off of your mic, Iris. Anybody can get through to Iris and mute the microphone.
Iris, can you hear me? Hello? Alright, that person and I will drop them.
Yeah, thank you for
yeah, got you.
Like I was saying, it's I don't know if they can hear, I don't know if they know how to use it or something. Yeah. Make your brain react the way it does. So don't take it simple that this is this simple little thing where oh, it's a social media and blah blah blah. No, bro, this it's a weapon. We live in the era now where some of the most dangerous weapons don't blow up and they don't penetrate. They just destroy you from the inside. They destroy your mind, they destroy your society. And we can see it all around us every day. We can see it just getting worse and worse. But they're also, like Bolo said, it's not all one thing, it's not all negative, it's a tool, and it's how you choose to use it. That is the key. But please don't ever think that the social media thing is a game. It is very much not a game. There's a reason why all of the intelligence agencies around the world focus so heavily on social media.
Yeah, that is true. They really put a lot of money behind it because
Yeah.
it's definitely an agent for control.
You know,
Um,
money. The man them
yeah,
getting at them something there.
multiple trillions of dollars is put in there. It's not even
And
a
bear
joke.
in mind, we're just talking. We're not even talking about the CIA alone. We're not talking about MI5 and MI6. We're not all of them combined,
Yes, man.
and
Yes, man.
literally using it as warfare in some instances. Because remember the 2020 election and the 2016 election in the States? We heard about Russian influence, Chinese influence, brother.
I have a friend that I met on YouTube. He actually works around politicians. He's a nerd like yourself, and he deals with the tech. The same social media space, the algorithms and stuff. And let's just say he takes the same position that you do when it comes out to politicians. That's
I
a
think
fact.
so, say a while ago, brother.
He really does. He really does. Like, he sees every single one of them as actual scumbags. Like, I'm talking about in the United States of America. Like, he really does not deal with them at all. You know what I mean?
Speaking about the United States of America and their government, do you know that 96% of the members of Congress have all take money from Israel?
Has done what?
Take money from Israel.
Taken money from Israel?
Yeah.
Interesting.
The largest APAC in the States right now is actually the one run by Israel.
Whoa. That's
And it's
crazy.
Bolo, you didn't know that?
I didn't know that they took money from Israel. They've been giving Israel so much money, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, bro. Why you think them doing it? Oh, hold on. Stick a pin. You know which country Jeffrey Epstein was working for, right?
No.
It wasn't America. He was working for Mossad, bro. His name, Epstein. Jewish.
Oh.
The guy that ran Victoria's Secrets and
I
gave him
know,
the...
I know the Jewish part that much, but
No, bro, it gets
working
deep.
for-
It gets deeper than that.
Mm,
He was working for Mossad the whole time.
that's crazy.
Why would the
Allegedly.
CIA...
I'm on YouTube. Allegedly.
What? No, we're not saying allegedly. No, I say it, brawling. Imagine. Why?
I'm saying allegedly. I own the platform, goddammit, not you.
Well, you can go. All of my statements are mine. They have nothing to do with you. But why would the CIA want to have compromising evidence against the president? That's something that a foreign country would do.
Yeah, and that ties into the very peculiar system that they have. What's it called again? It came up some time ago. Damn, what's that system that they use to just tap into everybody's phone?
Pegasus.
Pegasus, there you go. Will Rattigan spoke about that as well. Yeah, he exposed all of that.
You know that Pegasus is being used out here.
I've heard about that as well. That's why a lot of people is in fear to even speak on the government.
Brother, let me tell you something. When people see Andrew, I get really friendly with Israel, People need to pay attention when you see them something happening. You need to pay attention at the timelines to when these things were happening. Andrew started getting cozy with Israel from 2016. It's not a recent thing. And Andrew had been getting cozy with Israel when Pegasus had become a thing. And I don't mean Pegasus version 1, I mean Pegasus version 2, where you don't need to open the text message, you just need your phone number and just get full access to the phone. They don't need to send you nothing for you to open. And it wasn't being used by the police. When Robert Nesta Morgan came online and said that he can get people's IP addresses, blah blah blah, ray, I don't disbelieve him for a second. And Robert is the kind of, I don't want to say it right now because
He's not the only one that said that. Chopper John also said that they have certain people, and even Willie Rattigan filed something against him based off what he said. He took it as a threat. He sent the information to the FBI and the CIA about what he actually said. So yeah, you are on point, my brother.
brother, what I'm saying to you is all of them are like this, green and orange. Before there was social media and Pegasus and cell phones, they were tapping people's phone lines. I know what a tapped phone line sounds like because my phone line had been tapped for over 12 years. You know my family connection, so you know why that is the case it is.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to call a name on the program. But especially when election time come around, yeah, my brother, I at one point in time, I thought everybody's phones were tapped because I thought everybody knew what a tap phone sound like.
Wow.
And I mean, as a teenager, as a young teenager, I knew what a tap phone sound like. So don't get it twisted and think, yo, let me tell you something. We're going on some history now. Do you know the reason why we have a gun culture in this country is because Russia and America were currently engaged in something called the Cold War. And the reason why they call it the Cold War is because no weapons were fired, but things got real close several times. So what they did around the world is that they fought proxy wars. Proxy wars is when you fight the same enemy, but you make it appear like it's not you fighting them. Biggest example of this, 1970s, Afghanistan. Russia invaded, America sent money. Hold on a second, them bike out.
Where the bike them?
I hate them, I hate them like
Them terrible, brother.
poison. Anyway, in 1970 something, Russia invades Afghanistan, and America says, all right, we want to fight Russia, but we can't send our army because that's going to cause World War III. So here what we're going to do. We're going to pay the Mujahideen, and we're going to send money through the CIA. We're going to sell drugs that we get from Colombia in America, in the LA, and we're going to create the crack epidemic. And the money that we make from that, we're going to send over to Iran. It was called the Iran-Contra affair. It's President Reagan was caught up in it. This is all publicly known. All the documents are declassified, and you can check this out for yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. So Afghanistan was one proxy war. The Caribbean was another. Because the reason why PNP call each other comrade is because of their connection with Cuba. And Cuba is a communist country. So they've always referred to each other as yo, I hate when I say mom put up a rope across the road, and anytime them come, we just dry it tight and jar them off of your bike. So you can see them coming a mile away, and the bike now go nowhere fast. So you can hear it for 5 minutes.
That's crazy.
Back to the actual matter at hand.
Yeah.
So, Cuba, being a communist country and be located 99 miles from Key West and 99 miles from Jamaica, I don't know if you guys know about this, but there's something called the Cuban Missile Crisis, where Russia had sent some intercontinental ballistic missiles.
Shout out to Cutting Edge. Shout out to Cutting Edge on YouTube. Salute to you, my brother. Good, man.
So there's and that's when the world nearly got blown up. And there's a reason why America is kind of hesitant about that. Now, when Manley started to become real friendly with Cuba, America was like, no, we can't have this, because that's two communist countries in the Caribbean and the two of the biggest ones. No, we can't have that. And so what started happening is that we had gangs before, but gun violence hadn't really been a thing on that level. And so KGB starts bringing guns in and giving to PNP, CIA bringing guns in and giving to JLP, and all of a sudden, little tiny Jamaica that never used to have no bag of gunshot or fire and base, all of a sudden, civil war breaks out.
Yep.
And everybody has it that is PNP and JLP, and yes, they were the conduits that these things came through, but it actually wasn't. Which gun you know make a Jamaica? And I don't mean one gun.
Exactly, like, come on, man.
So it have to come from somewhere where the gun them make. And those days, the members of the gangs had to have political cover to import and bring in certain things that have certain links. Now the man them have them own dirty money, so them don't need no government people again. But at them time there, it was needed. And where would these things be coming from? Obviously from outside of the country.
Yeah.
So you get Russian-made weapons coming from USSR, and you get American-made weapons and Western-made weapons coming from America and the CIA. And we have never recovered.
Never.
The same thing can be said for Nicaragua. The same thing can be said for Guatemala. And in fact, in South America, Instead of
Carly has a question. She said, "Do you believe that past specific head of state was CIA agent?"
that little old
Yeah,
brother
no.
with the dead, what they well, here's the thing. We don't know, but I will say this. There are certain institutions across the United States that have a relationship with the clandestine operations, aka the CIA, and before the CIA, the OSSS. That's the Office of Special Services.
Right.
There are certain schools that the CIA target. There are certain places the CIA target. There are certain cities around the world where if you're in those cities, you are rubbing shoulders with clandestine agents from all over the world. If you spend any time in London, best believe you are passing people by you that are intelligence operatives. If you live in New York, same thing. If you live
Yeah,
in
the big
Washington, oh
cities.
my God. No, it's not just big cities, it's big cities but with heavy political and financial connections.
That makes sense. Lord Fang, big up,
Exactly.
sir.
Like when you sit down and do the maths, you start pre and you realize that everything makes sense. Because why would I want to send a bag of people to Washington? Washington don't have no tourist things for the but it has the head of the US government. And what is more powerful than that? So of course,
Exactly.
the entire city is going to be crawling with agents from all over the world. Chinese, Iranian, Russian, American, British, French, Israeli, everything. So
Yeah.
we have to remember that when we move through this world, while we see our lives as what is in front of us, there is a much bigger picture at play.
Right.
It's funny that we should be having this conversation because for the last week or so, I fell down the rabbit hole of the CIA papers being released. I fell down the rabbit hole of MK Ultra again because it's something that I'd heard about it in a movie and I thought there's no way that that could exist, and then found out it actually did really exist and it does
That's
exist, and the thing that they
crazy.
based the whole Jason Bourne thing on is actually true.
Mm. Mm.
And when I say true, I don't mean like conspiracy theory true, like, oh,
Yeah,
you have to
true,
be
true.
no, as in CIA has declassified documents of themselves.
Yeah,
saying,
they did classify that a number of documents the other day.
Let me tell you how this thing deep, bro. I fell down the rabbit hole of satanic cult documentaries. So I was
Yeah.
about the Son of Sam, because I've always been fascinated with psychology and what makes the human mind tick and what makes it go wrong and what makes it go right. So things like that have always been a fascination to me. But I fell down the rabbit hole recently of the Son of Sam document, and the Son of Sam was a serial killer that operated in New York in the summer of in the year 1 year from, I think it was 78 to 79. And what he would do is that he would walk up to a car with like a couple in it, like a lover's lane, and shoot both
Right.
of them. Turns out that the guy that they arrested, he may not be the only one. Not only might he not be the only one, but he also had contact with Charles Manson from the Manson family, who operated on the west coast of America. They were all connected by something called the Process Church, which was an offshoot of Scientology, which was created in the UK in the 60s. But what really freaked me out is there is heavy CIA involvement in all of these things.
Man, CIA,
Love
CIA is different, man. They are in every single dirty
No. Bolo,
man. These
take it
dudes
out of
is
your head.
different, bro.
Bro, Bolo, take it out of your head that it's just the CIA, bro. Bear in mind, all of these. Alright, so think of the world operating on two levels. There's a level that the rest of us know and government, and then there is a level of these
Intelligence.
different and the intelligence agencies. So let's list them out. There's the CIA. We're going to start with America first. So there's CIA, which is their external force. They're not supposed to operate in America unless with a local agency. There's the FBI, which is for their internal stuff, but they also do external as well, depending on if the people run away. There's the NSA, which is actually the most dangerous one onto all of them, because while they don't send people on missions per se, the NSA has been hoovering up all digital transmission and information since the mid-90s.
Damn. So where's the origin of the NSA? Hello? You there? You? Is this thing on? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, hearing you, but I'm not sure he's hearing you. Something is wrong
Yeah, I
with
don't know.
his
Maybe
sound.
I wonder if his battery bad.
Exit over there!
Really, salute, Marcia down. Salute. I knew something happened. See, he dropped off. So I wanted to ask him. Damn, I wanted to ask him before he gone. Carly, what up? That's up there loading up. Yeah, that's up there load. I wanted to ask him what ultimately is his position on the elections. Because what are we saying? Oh, don't vote. The two of them is the same. No matter who goes into power, there's going to be nothing different. I don't subscribe to that at all. I used to think that is true, but not anymore. Can I say that there's some things that might not change? Maybe there's some things that might not change. Like when I look at some of the things that the government don't really address and speak on, that is a topic of discussion in the public sphere. I'm like, oh, so wait a minute, y'all just don't wanna address that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I would say. Like, there's some things definitely that is beyond our scope of understanding in terms of the structure of government and the things that the government actually sign off on. And if you're not within, I think people should definitely vote. I think we need to educate ourselves more. And we just need to hold the government accountable. And listen, let me just say this. I'm going to give you an example of an extreme way that the people of a country, this is just an extreme way. I'm not advocating for us to do this. I'm just telling you, as a last resort, this is some things that people do around the world. Like, go to a president's palace to the point where he got to run away from the country. Bruh, you know it's bad. Hey, Carly, you know it's bad.
Yeah, that's super bad.
Yeah, you know it's super bad when the people got to run up in your palace and you got to run away from the country. Man, listen, I'm not saying that that's what we should do here in Jamaica. I'm saying we have to be involved. We have to be educated so it doesn't reach to that point. All right? We don't want that to happen. We definitely don't want that to happen. It doesn't help anybody. You're talking about casualties. You're talking about children, women. I mean, war is nothing good, man. Whether it's internal or not. So, my message ultimately on this live stream that I came on is to tell everybody, if you're not already numerated, if you haven't gone, you need to go and get it done. That was my ultimate message. Hey, hot off the press, yeah, I'm still alive. I'm actually streaming it on YouTube. I wish I was home from the time I was actually live. I never knew that this live would actually, materialize into something that is so the man them say him talk too much truth. Who that? Who talk too much truth?
Bring him
Oh
up,
shit, the Illuminati cut the Yo, I'm so upset, bro, because I was like, damn, I wanted to hear your closing arguments. And I appreciate everybody that came up, even the ones that I disagreed with, vehemently. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I appreciate y'all coming up and having a dialogue, to be honest with you. At the end of the day, everybody really got to choose and think for themselves, to be honest. I mean, I could have my position. I just think that the government gets way too much resources in terms of payment and also resources from our tax dollars to offer an excuse why we have certain levels of failure in our system, whether it be education, whether it be healthcare. They are getting way too much money. They are getting way too much resources, and they should be doing a way better job than they are actually doing. And they have such a secure job in some instances, you know. They get a great pension, especially if you're a prime minister. My goodness, or a minister of government, or a minister of government. Hey, Headboy, me can't take the call right now, bro. I'm actually on TikTok live. I see you calling. If I get that call, it's gonna cut out the TikTok live. If you're watching, but they get so much resources, and they have to be held accountable at the end of the day. And I cannot. I love my brothers and sisters, my Jamaican people. It doesn't matter which side you're on. Ultimately, I want Jamaica to be best for both of us. We just disagree on some things, and I am kind of saddened that you guys can't see, whoever you are out there, you guys can't see how much the government needs to be held accountable and how much they aren't being held accountable because we are not holding them accountable. You know, so Cardi, what you got to say on closing?
Yeah, a lot of good points came across. I really wanted to hear what Stuart had to say. I really want to hear, but I guess it wasn't meant to be. But yeah, I want the same thing that you want. I want to see a better Jamaica. I want to see head of states held accountable for their actions. It doesn't matter which party or who we love or whatever. Sometimes we often give tough love to the people that we love and hold them accountable. And that's what Jamaica needs to do. I wish that Jamaican people would just wise up and open them high and see that, listen, we need to do what's best for the country and the kids that are coming up. You know? That's what I really want to see.
Yeah, man. I tell people all the time, like people that come on my page, there's a lot of comments that come on the page, and I always tell them, listen, I'm not PNP, I'm not JP, I'm none of that. I'm a Jamaican. I do recognize that this government that is in power right now, yeah, I gotta vote to get these niggas out of here. Facts.
You know my honest opinion about the current Prime Minister?
Go ahead.
You know, I take this from him. He was a good education minister, and I think that's where we should go back.
I mean, I don't know about that.
I will give him that. He was a good one. He was one
There
of the
was
best.
some things that happened in the education ministry while he was there that was very shady, monetary wise, and basically he was absolved of that because there wasn't real investigations that was put in it. So I'm not gonna.
He was under Bruce Golden. He did some good things in that sector. And trust me, he's not my favorite person.
Right.
But you have to Caesar what is Caesar. Not one telling he was perfect, but he did a good job in that capacity.
Yeah.
And a lot of Jamaicans will agree with me that are actually going on facts, will tell you that he did some good things. But I guess that was just a way of catching the people.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to tell you, there's some things about that situation that we are not really understanding, that I'm understanding and doing some research on. So I can't really give him that. I'm sorry, I can't. Nah. This dude is one of the biggest deceivers in the world, bro. That man is
maybe, and he is.
Yeah.
So really said not to his understanding.
I'm telling you, people are learning about the stuff, man. You know, we living in a time right now when all lies will be exposed. And who doesn't?
I want to ask you this because I never really got a chance to watch it in full. Where the American, where they were having the press conference and they were talking about all this stuff. What is Andrew's stance on the whole Cuban doctors and nurses thing? Because I never got to watch it.
Listen, whatever
That's
whatever America stance is Andrew's stance. How about that?
And that's what, this is the conversation I was having with someone, because I haven't seen it, and I'm saying that it doesn't matter what he came and said when he was with the Barbados Prime Minister, Miss Motley or whatever her name is. It doesn't whatever he said there, that is just a front. I strongly believe that whatever America says, Andrew is going to beckon to it.
Listen, man,
That's what I think.
These dudes
Because here, exactly, but you know that here they're saying the reason why Andrew don't answer for a lot of things that he has done illegally is because he took the place of the previous CIA agent that was a prime minister.
He's the protege.
Exactly, that's what they're saying. And that is one of the reasons why he thinks he's untouchable.
He's even more cruel, though. He's even more cruel. He's even more cruel. So, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Man, listen. I want everybody to go out and vote. Whoever you're voting for, go out and vote. I don't want to hear people that didn't vote complain when things are not going in the direction that you want it to go, and who is in parliament. If you listen to the budget, you understand that the JLP is continuing to go in the direction that they have been, because they believe that they have done well and they have done wonderfully for this country. And if you are...
Hold on, we can ask you a question. The blueprint that the JLP is working with right now, who created that blueprint?
In terms of what? The fiscal discipline?
In terms of infrastructure, the road building and all of that.
No, they have created their own blueprint. And I can tell you 2 instances that is important to that. There was a fund that was used to maintain the road maintenance act. And
my understanding. So this is my understanding. My understanding was that when Portia was in power and they were complaining about her going to China, it was said that PNP had the blueprint, but they did not act on it, and JLP took it and then improvised.
See, that's why I asked you what blueprint, because to be honest with you, if you're talking about financially and fiscal discipline, Portia Simpson Miller and Peter Phillips is the one that laid out that blueprint. Alright? They had to pass 8 straight IMF tests. What happened was that the JLP had agreements with the IMF, and they abandoned those agreements without telling the IMF, and that created a rift in relations with not just the IMF but the World Bank and other global entities that is similar to them. So Jamaica's reputation was in the doghouse. You understand? And Portia Simpson Miller basically had to go on her knees and use her communicative and social skills with world leaders to beckon on behalf of Jamaica to the IMF, and then the IMF, through those people that Portia had to lean to, and it's well documented, those people spoke on behalf of her and Jamaica, and the IMF gave Jamaica a chance, but they gave them such a strict and stringent rule to follow. You understand? And Portia did it, man. She actually did it. She did it to the point where the IMF was like, salute. My goodness, we didn't even think you could do it. And the JLP was actually criticizing Portia, and the IMF rubbished their criticism. These things are documented. They're in newspaper clippings and everything. You can go look them up. You understand? And people like Wayne Lonesome and Will Rattigan and Mystic Sensation and YouTubers like that, they have all showed those documentations to prove what I'm saying is actual factual. So, that's what happened with that. They should really be giving Portia Simpson Miller way more credit than what they actually did.
I think so too.
Yeah. Aromatic TV, big up with it. Yes, Aromatic TV. There's so many vloggers, man. So many of them that are doing great work. Even on here, you guys can
Stuart
go.
Smelly, you're talking facts.
He said the issue isn't which government did it. They didn't do it for us. They did it for them. Um,
And that's true. Because they gain more than us as citizens.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that to say they just did it for us, because ultimately, if they did not fix the issue with the IMF, every single Jamaican would be feeling it. I mean, our lives would be hell.
Mainly them, because they wouldn't have anything to pocket. Because we as regular citizens, we are still losing. It's not like we're gaining anything. They're the ones that stand to gain.
It's a double-edged sword. So what are we saying? Portia Simpson Miller and Peter Phillips should have not have been fiscally prudent and fixed that issue. And then if that was not,
I'm not saying that.
So you cannot not give them credit and then blame them at the same time. That's kind of weird. You see, that you give them credit or you don't. You get me? The fact that the matter is just the fact. If they didn't do it, we would be in trouble as a country, and we are the ones that would have felt it. So you have to give them credit to say they didn't do it for themselves. They actually did it for us. That's my position anyway. You know what I'm saying? Really and true. That's my position.
No. Me not talk about Portia and Dr. Phillips, but there are other people. I don't wish to call them name because I know a lot of things and I just don't want to say it because I used to because of the work I used to do.
Thank you for the gifts.
I don't want to say certain things, but I can tell you this: some of them is just in it for what they do.
Oh yes,
Dr. Phillips and Miss Simpson Miller, they really had love for the country and wanted better, just like the Manleys. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I understand. Somebody said on my in my comment section, Velma said, "Well, I don't know about Andrew being a good education minister. He messed up with the common entrance exam. The man was a suspect from way back." Jenny says, "I am living in St. Thomas. The only road that is good is the main road in the town, but the main roads to the rural communities are in the worst I have ever seen, and I am almost 70. Facts are facts.
Yep, that comment that you just read is facts.
Yeah.
Because I know people from there, and they talk about it daily.
St. Thomas has been crying out in the last week because they had a conference down there. People are really riled up. I mean, them attack the things, and I'm not even gonna tell a lie. Yeah, they've been going crazy about St. Thomas, man. They've been going real crazy about St. Thomas and the MPs and the mayor that is down here. Ridiculous. Some of the allegations are beyond me. You know what I'm saying? But hey, my ultimate thing is this. I pray that the Lord's will be done. It might sound corny to some people because some people don't believe in the Creator, and that's their prerogative. But I pray that the Lord's will be done here in Jamaica, and I pray that whoever the Lord wants to be in the position to lead the country will ultimately be in that position. And I have made my decision ultimately. You know, I think there's a small difference, but very significant difference between the two political parties. Is there an air of, speculation, or I don't want to say doubt, but concern? There's a couple things that I would want to have the PNP address. All of them get the PRAs. In terms of the PRAs, the PNP couldn't stop the PRAs because the government have the majority of the house. So there's things that they can just, they can just pass it. So ultimately, yeah, I think Mark Gordon was the last person to actually sign off on that. He was pretty reluctant about it, and in his actions, like I said, he did not take the extra that was given to him. He's still getting the same amount of money that he was getting before, and he has put the rest into charity. You get me? I think Andrew, him said him not take his money at all because he don't want nobody in face there or whatever on him. So I don't know if he's taking the money or if he just said that. I don't know. I don't know his situation. His situation is not clear where the race is concerned. I think there's a shift, Smelly. I think in the past they were buddy, but there has been a shift of recent when it comes to the PNP and the JLP. There's a real divide there. I personally, I'm loving it. There needs to be a line drawn in the goddamn sand. I don't want these people to be buddy. I'm not B. Hey, devil versus devils and angels, man. Hey, if you're gonna be an angel, be an angel. If you're gonna be a devil, be a devil. You can't be mixing and mingling with no goddamn devil and your angel. Yeah, that's not gonna work for me. That's corruption. So, yeah, they can be cordial or whatever. I'm not saying they should be at each other's throat. But yeah, when it comes on to, listen, when I look at the NIDS that they tried to put on us, do y'all realize what would have happened if the PNP and the JLP was truly buddy and they were together? The NIDS would have been passed and it would have been unconstitutional, and none of us that actually read or understand the Constitution would have known that we were sold. Basically, we were sold out by the government. All our privacy would have been gone. You feel me? We would have no say as to whether or not we could take the NIDS or not. Alright? It wouldn't have been a choice. And those are the things that I look at to see the little difference between the PNP and the JLP. Just a little difference. Paulwell and Kem. Who is Paulwell? Paulwell, is that the Minister of Energy? Philip Paulwell, is that the Minister of Energy? Who is Kem? And man, can you hit the link, bro? Can you hit the link? We give more into Facebook than we do into NIDS. Yes, that is true. That is true. That is true. That is true. A lot too much of the things that the government is doing, even with this constitutional reform that they're trying to push. If the PNP was with the JLP again, they would have had a constitution that does not have a what do you call it, impeachment bill in there, and they would have had a ceremonial president that had insane amount of power. I mean, listen, there's so much important things that the PNP have done to fight for the Jamaican people that I am like, yo, thank you, because my goodness, even the position that they have taken where the political ombudsman is concerned. I mean, Mark Gordon has been very clear. The political ombudsman needs to be reinstated. But because the JLP has a majority of the House, they are able to take out the political ombudsman, which is concerning with the election that is coming up, because he's the referee between the two parties. You see these IDs that them finding, fake IDs, the political ombudsman is the one who's supposed to deal with those things, You understand? To ensure that those things are clamped down upon and we have free and fair elections. But the Prime Minister has put the EOJ in his office where he has control. That is a conflict of interest. His wife is the minister, is the Speaker of the House. Another conflict of interest. You get me? There's just, man, listen, the JLP to me, man, they are so corrupt, is ridiculous, bro. And the evidence is right there. You don't really need to do a lot of deciphering to say, wait a minute, this ain't right. This ain't right. But again, he said he never set any boundaries. Paul gave the Chinese contracts to mine the cockpit. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with the Paul thing. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. I'm really if you vote him for true, you know, like I told you, there's just a few things, you know, just a few things. I really don't like Paul Wells' relationship with Andrew Holness. I don't like it. He is the most compromised individual in the PNP as far as I'm concerned. My spider senses go, oh, when I see Paul Well, man, I don't think he really 100% supports Mark Golden. I think he wants to be the leader of the party, like other people, and you know, yeah, I really don't trust the guy. But let's see how it plays out. that's where I'm at with it. It needs to be. Let me say, what's that? He needs to go with him on one of the corruption in the PNP and Bunting to both of them get caught doing the same things. Well, like I said, I'm gonna leave it up. I'm gonna leave it up to the Most High to expose everybody. Whoever is supposed to get exposed, they are going to get exposed. PNP thief off NHT and the JP thief out. Yo, yo, Stuart said both of them thief out Petro Jam. Yo, man, Stuart going in, man. Man, Stuart, I gotta have you on the show, bro. I gotta have you on the show, the YouTube show, bro. Real tough. Gotta have you on the show. I like you know, stimulating conversations and a little bit of controversy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I gotta go. If you guys want to come over to the YouTube, I'll be on the YouTube. All right. So salute to the TikTokers, man. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Carly, so good to have you. All the people that came up, Amalia, everybody, man. Thank y'all for your time. Like I said, even the ones I don't agree with, big ups to y'all. All right. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. All right. See y'all later. I'm out.
But because I have my man, I'm tell a lady lie sometimes say me I got my friend go study, not a
My YouTube family, man. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Woo! Somebody was calling me a while ago, man. I couldn't answer the phone, man. That would have cut off everything, bro. That would have messed up the whole thing, you know what I'm saying? Real talk. So let me see if the man is still with us. Yes. Man, y'all should have been listening.
Hello.
What's going on, my brother?
I thought you were closing off, man.
No, you see, I closed off the TikTok. I don't close off the YouTube.
Oh.
Yeah, I was streaming on TikTok live, and then I came home, and I just decided the conversation was so interesting and intriguing, and
No, you touch a point there, you know. That's when you say the politicians increase their salary close to 300%. That was a very crucial point you enunciated, because they knew before the increase that the government couldn't have absorbed that burden, that pay bill. Yet they do it to give an account for the wealth they have amassed.
Exactly.
Yeah, they wanted to cover it, you know. That is why they did the increase. But I have been proposing that the PNP lawyers, whenever they win the election, they should ask the court to make a declaratory judgment that based upon the corrupt activities of the present Prime Minister, that he should not be given his pension, which is
Yes.
$30 million.
Right.
Because anything that constitutes fraud would have made such a precedent null and void. You can't raid the country like that and cause immense pain and suffering and then retire in extravagance and opulence. Can't.
Yeah,
Okay, man, a lot of these.
It would be a spit in the face to all Jamaicans if that happened.
Right, so a lot of these construction buildings going up are owned by the Prime Minister and his wife. And the Chinese workers are building the units. Just as how you see they got multiple contracts to build a lot of units on the University of the West Indies campus. They have been doing a lot of residential units too. Quite a lot of them are for the Prime Minister's wife and by extension himself.
Wow.
Up to today, I have identified a massive 2-story building on Deanery Road. Right? It's called the Vineyards. Brand new properties completed last summer. 1 bedroom for 25 million and counting.
What?
And that was when, yes, and 2 bedrooms for 38 million and counting.
What?
Those prices were set while the construction was being done. It has been completed, so the prices escalated now.
Mighty God. 38
Yes.
million for 2 bedroom.
The initial offer, so it would have gone up to probably 41,000 now, 41 million now, or 40 million thereabout, yeah.
Wow.
It will never be the same.
Wow.
You know? So, all of these people are opening limited liability companies, you know. You can't see their names and anything. Sometimes they use company names to open other company names. You don't understand what's going on? If you don't know someone who is a part of the project or the original sale agreement as to when they purchased the land itself to construct the building, you will never know out there. Somebody with inside information have to divulge it to you. You can't know. Because they use it, as I said, they're using LLC to open other LLC.
Oof.
I'm telling you, man.
When you know, eh?
The Prime Minister and the Chinese investors in Jamaica, they have a very clandestine and intricate relationship that have produced multi-billions of dollars for his personal enrichment.
Oh.
Prime Minister doesn't have any interest in USA. He's only concerned that his wealth may have collided with the Swift payment platform which is originally from the US, and he can make multiple payments on the platform worldwide. That is his only concern, you know, that he is being monitored and probably sanctioned eventually.
That's crazy.
Right? Now the US is concerned about Jamaica being a transshipment point to its country, and they want to guard against that to make sure that they don't have any enemies in their background or so-called competitors like that on the global scale. So that is why they are concerned about China. But Bolo, Prime Minister is happy, man. The day he met the Chinese nationals and business and their business community when he came into power, that's the day he bingo. That was his lottery day. Yes, because they would have emboldened him, you know. and give him big sums of money for access to various institutions that make their businesses move very smoothly. So yes, most of the units that the Prime Minister's wife is constructing is the Chinese nationals working on those projects. Yes.
Say that again, boss.
Most of the construction units that are being built by the Prime Minister's wife, the people who are working on them are Chinese nationals.
What?
It's the same thing as the vineyards in Vineyard Town and Deanery Road.
Boy, one thing me know, something off happen. Because
and NHT
right now.
And NHT is not producing any home support people, so the normal workers in Kingston have to relocate to rural Jamaica in order to survive because they can't pay the rent in Kingston. So they are moving back from the city into rural areas where they can add a room on their family's place and survive. Rent is out of work for the average citizen now in the city.
It's not even out of work, brother. It just, nobody think about it.
Unbearable.
Nobody think about
It's unbearable. It's unbearable in a dish.
Trying to own a home is impossible under this real estate regime.
Right, so it's unbearable. And it also preserves generational poverty. Because once you're paying rent, it's a sacrifice for many other things that you really want out of life.
I'm glad you said that. Because you see,
yes.
I was so... I was confused, but then I was not shocked at the same time when the JLP and their media cohorts attacked the idea that the PMP put in their budget to actually help people to own their homes.
And the feeding programs at school.
And the feeding. I was like, how are you?
And I heard that. Can you imagine? And look how much billions gone down in SSL that could have been used to feed all the schools and let countless money.
And then Favor Williams had the audacity to make them use her like a guinea pig to come in the parliament to clown the budget that the man them put out or try to attempt to do so. It's like these people are so shame.
Yes, he's a con artist, Bolo. The Prime Minister is a con artist because I saw him greeting the Secretary of State and the man doubled down, from a normal handshake to pat on the shoulder, Yeah, and I'm saying how unprofessional. Yes, how unprofessional this guy is.
Man, listen.
The only thing was left is for him to hug up Marco Rubio and kiss him.
Yeah.
He wish if he could do it. Because he wish that he could have done it. That guy, you don't know that guy, man. You soon see all of his deeds revealed, yeah? You see, just as how everything revealed between himself and you, because you're the owner of SSL, everything else will be revealed between himself and the Chinese nationals who have been pre-approved to access all governmental institutions, stroke agencies.
Mighty God.
These guys paid big money for bribes in a bowl.
One of the things that you said to me, which I mean, a lot of it is shocking and eye-opening at the same time. In terms of the access to a licensed firearm by the agents.
Oh yes, tax office.
That is
those guys. Yes,
security concern.
Yes, yeah. And company business registration, Companies Office of Jamaica, tax office. Yeah, and then you have the Island Traffic Authority where the Chinese are getting their licenses quickly when they come into Jamaica. Yeah, Yeah, it is a corrupt thing. As I told you, the middle name of the Chinese is bribery. And the only question they ask is how much. Just come to the back of the building and collect a few crocus bags of money. That's how they operate.
Wow.
While the workers cannot put their hands into those monies, the workers in the buildings, they suffer them. You have to be in political roles or being head of government agencies to get their lump sums of money. And they don't put back nothing towards society. No equipment in hospitals, nothing in schools. They just demand their pound of flesh, but they pay the individuals who they are bribing up front. And they pay them handsomely. That is why you see the Prime Minister sold out the Jamaica to the Chinese. You can't get rid of Chinese out of Jamaica right now. It's too late, Mr. Secretary of State. The Chinese is fully dominant right now. And they paid big money to the man at the top to be able to penetrate the construction industry like that.
Wow.
Yes. They won't even some part of our ports right now, like the wharves. Massive land, roads, buildings, residential and commercial. They are doing everything. People saw the Chinese making a lot of buildings and were saying, how would they get those contracts? And so many Jamaicans out here want work in the construction industry, masons, plumbers and all that. And they couldn't get a job. It was the Prime Minister doing it. It was the Prime Minister doing it from then until now.
I remember Talk Your Mind TV. He showed a brother that is very experienced in the field of what you're talking about, construction. And he's actually a contractor in terms of you have other people that works for him and they have been doing a lot of work over the years in Mobile. And
they can't survive on that.
No, it's a serious thing. Them cannot get no more work, Bridget. The man them cannot get any more work and they are qualified for those jobs.
So in other words, the Prime Minister sold them out like slaves to enrich himself and prop up the Chinese companies out here. And then it turned out now that his wife is one of the major beneficiaries of the Chinese input. So you see the chain of corruption. Well, there is no end to this chain, you know. It's called a transactional chain. And it's always turning out to be the Prime Minister's involvement.
Right. Well,
yes.
I forgot that's one shot per virgin. And what? 1 hour upon that? Mighty God, big up yourself. I have to cut this one shot. It's always a pleasure.
In closing, Bolo, I'm surprised that the PNP didn't organize a protest yesterday when the Secretary of State to let him be aware of the corruption that is going on in Jamaica and the economic recession that exists at the moment. So if it was even to stay out by Harborview roundabout and put up the placard, let him see what's going on, man. They should have done that. Come on.
So we
know.
You would have advised something like that?
Of course. What's wrong with that? What would be so detrimental about them doing that? What would be the issue about it? There wouldn't be any problem.
Something to think
it's not. They wouldn't be opposing the Secretary of State. They would be opposing the Andrew Holness's regime.
I think Andrew Holness would have used all his force to clamp that one.
I don't know.
I think that
because
one.
At the end of the day,
I think that one would need
Constitution
start. Yeah, I think that one.
So all
I think we would have seen. No, I'm not disagreeing with you that they should have done it. No. I think measures would have been taken by Andrew Holness that would not even materialize.
All over the world, when leaders are coming into countries that are being oppressed, they always demonstrate. So I'm surprised that the PNP take on that role yesterday. I'm very surprised because that was an opportunity.
I really want men like you in the opposition, you know.
Yeah, that was an opportunity.
Yeah, you know, the way you think. Because I didn't even think about that, you know. I didn't even
Yes.
think about that, Richie. And it's a good
Bolo, I have to come in, you know, Bolo. You're one of the most, you're one of the better bloggers, you know. There's no doubt about that. I've seen your dedication. I've seen your assessment of the issues that are affecting the Jamaican people, and you have been very accurate, you know. You are way up there. You're way up there, you know. So I have to congratulate you, man. All right?
come on. All right?
Okay. All
Yes,
right.
sir. All right. Blessings to Headboy. I know big up himself. People, the word is love. All right? The word is love. I put out a lot of content today. From like 12 o'clock last night, 12 o'clock, 12 a.m. Content has been going out. There's literally maybe 12 videos for you guys to really dive into and give me a commentary. And I notice a lot of them hasn't been watched. So I want to encourage you guys to go to my today's playlist. Alright, and you'll find all those videos. Today's content, that's the name of the playlist. Today's content. I would love for you to go to today's content playlist and take a look at that. Alright, any day you feel like you missed something, go to today's content. Alright, alright, you guys have a wonderful evening, and it's your brother Bolo VNR, and I'm out.